This is Spoiler Country, a podcast about comics, movies, whatever, but mostly comics. Enjoy.
Previously on Spoiler Country.
All right, welcome back to Spoiler Country. I'm Kenric, and that's Johnny Horsley. And today on our show, Spoiler Country met Kevin Smith.
Yeah, we did.
And we just didn't get to meet him. We actually got to take pictures with him, converse with him, talk to him. Well, that's what converse means, so it's a double thing there. But at the end of the day, we got to spend some time with them. And the cool thing is, it was a comic book store that was Destiny Comics out of Tacoma, paid for him to come and do autographs like they do. We paid $10 a piece, which thank you, Johnny, for paying for that. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
If you need that money back, let me know.
No, we're good. I'm glad we were both able to get to it. It's awesome.
Yeah, and we got there late, and so we were literally the last 6 people in line.
Yeah.
There were 3 of us, me, Johnny, and Kaylee, and then 3 more people after that.
Yeah.
And the guy that, I don't know if whoever works at the store kept coming back and like giving people like the heads up. Hey, we're getting late, da-da-da-da-da. Things might not happen the way you want.
Yeah.
Totally cool. We were late. Totally understand it. And the funny thing is like, if you don't have a ticket, you're not going to be able to get an autograph. And there was literally only one person in line that didn't have a ticket.
And he was just there with his buddy, just hanging out.
Yeah. And he ended up getting an autograph. And he ended up getting it. But he comes in like a little bit later and says, hey, everybody got a minute with Kevin. Now everybody gets 30 seconds. Okay, that's cool. We're just there to meet him anyways and blah, blah, blah.
Well, and Kevin's got 2 shows to do tonight too, or afterwards,
Yeah. But we get up there and it was kind of a blessing because we were the last. We actually got like 5 minutes with him.
Yeah, we had the most time because there was nobody else.
Yeah. So I got up. I'm talking to him, acting like I've seen him a million times. We did the shake, we did the hug, the whole thing, like we're...
It's your best buds.
Yeah, like we're best buds. I tell him about the podcast. He's actually interested in the podcast. How many episodes you guys done? And the cool thing, okay, this is the cool thing. The first thing I say is, look, you have to understand, Kevin Smith, Johnny and I went for my birthday 2 years ago.
Yeah, 2 years ago to Bellevue.
Yeah. Yep. My mom bought tickets for my birthday, and Johnny is the only guy that I thought he would really appreciate going and seeing Kevin Smith.
Of course. I love Kevin Smith.
And it was like a really private, it was a very, not private, but very intimate setting, right?
Yeah.
It's the parlor in Bellevue. It's a very small comedy club, but they get big names that go there because it's Bellevue.
Yeah.
And people who don't know, Bellevue is a very bougie, posh kind of area of... It's a city that is directly east of Seattle. And it's just a very ritzy neighborhood, ritzy city.
Yeah, it is.
So they get big names that go to this very intimate setting, and it was really cool because we got to sit there, and he does this whole stand-up, which was amazing, and he's just talking about going on the set of Star Wars, Force Awakens and everything, and it was really cool. But near the end, he talks about if you're a creator or whatever you do and whatever you love, just do it and make content. Do what you want to, do the things that bring you happiness and get out there and do it. And we were just like, it was almost like the light bulb went on when it comes to, okay, let's just do it. You know what I mean? Because he talked about people just do full movies using nothing but an iPhone and then uploading it to YouTube, and you have a full audience right there.
Yeah. Just do it.
And so I told him that story, that was really our catalyst. He's like, how many episodes you guys in? I said, we started in July. We got 50. Johnny was quick to say, no. We got 55. Two in the bank is what we call it. And we said, hey, we got 2 coming out, and we'll be at 55. I said, one of our goals when we started this was to have Kevin Smith on. He said, you get to 100, I'll be on your 100th episode. And then he signed the flyer that I had for him because I didn't bring anything because I really just wanted to shake his hand and get an autograph. And he said, Kenric, 100th episode. He said, just tweet this back at me. Let me know that I promised to be on with that thing, and we'll make it happen. And I was like, oh my God, this is happening.
Yeah. One of our big goal when we started the podcast was, and to have it happen and get the commit from him, it's gonna make that 100th episode that much more special for us.
Yep. Totally. What was your favorite thing about meeting him?
Just how down to earth he was. I mean, he was just like a dude. It was cool.
Yeah, he'd been there he was what, an hour? He was supposed to be there 2 to 4. It was almost 5 o'clock, so he was already late.
Yeah.
He had 2 shows to do tonight, and he acted like you were the first guy he saw that day.
Yeah, it was like we were the last people, and it was no like, oh man, I've been here so long. It was just, hey man, what's up? How's it going? And engaging and talking and signing the thing. And on my picture, he wrote, John, I miss you, Kevin Smith.
That's awesome.
And on Kaylee's, he wrote, Kaylee, I love you, Kevin Smith. And I was like, damn it, Kevin.
Yeah, I saw that. That was awesome. Yeah, mine just says Kenric, 100th episode.
Right.
It's like, oh, everybody else got a personal note. But you know what? I think mine's the best.
Yours is kind of special, man. You're just special.
Because we gave him our card. He took our card.
Yep.
He actually put it in his wallet, not just like threw it aside. Actually took the time to take his wallet out, stick it in there, which was a big deal to me. Because that means that there's something that he'll say it.
Yeah, if you're listening to Kevin, thanks for making it a good time.
That's right. It was cool. It was worth the wait.
Yeah, thanks for coming on episode 100. That's going to be awesome.
Yeah, when he gets there.
Yeah, we'll just thank you now. That way on the episode, we don't have to thank you for anything.
That's right. That way we can be like, oh, starstruck. Dick.
Yeah.
And who knows how long he'll be on. It'll be either 5 minutes or 2 hours. Who knows?
Yeah, as much as he wants, yeah. So unlike Kenric, I did bring stuff to get signed because I've been a Kevin Smith fan, and I'm the kind of guy that, I don't know, I like getting my stuff signed. So I brought I
don't own any DVDs.
I know. I still have
he was
DVDs.
writing comics in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah.
And so I just never got any of those.
I still have my DVDs, so I pulled out my Clerk X DVD, Mallrats, Chasing Amy, and Dogma. I figured get the first 4 signed, and then I had a couple of Green Hornet comics that are Cody's that I had him signed too. But mostly, cool. I wanted to get those DVDs signed. Now I don't know what I'm gonna do with them. It's just they're cooler signed now, you know.
Yeah, it's really cool to have him sign all that stuff. I don't know, man. It was really neat. He was a really nice guy. It was exciting. It was cool because we didn't know that this was going to happen today until last night. When out of the blue, Johnny goes, what are you doing tomorrow? Nothing. I'm going to my mom's. Got to go to Tacoma, dude. Kevin's signing. What? And it was cool because you bought the last ticket, and what happened after that?
Yeah. I bought the last ticket, and it was like no more tickets available. So I emailed the comic shop. I was like, hey, I'd like to know if I can, purchase another ticket for my wife, one for my co-host for my podcast. Everybody wants to come together. And the guy was like, yeah, just come down and, $10 cash at the door, and just make sure you remind me of the email. And I was like, okay, cool, man. So I ended up getting 2 extra tickets through email because I was like, I bought the last one and emailed them right away before they even tweet out that it was sold out.
Yeah, it was, I don't know, man. That was really fun. It was unexpected, which is the best way. And like we said, he was one of our goals when we started this podcast. Can we get Kevin Smith on just to be able to shoot the shit with him? Yeah,
it's going to be great. I mean, I'm looking forward to, because our format of quote unquote interviewing is just hanging out, and I'm excited for that because in the future I can go, I hung out with Kevin Smith once.
Right. Yeah, I should have stopped by one of the stores and got him a J.
Oh,
and if I was thinking about it, I should have done that. And I was like, God dang it.
We posted a tweet that somebody in Spokane gave him a lightsaber bong packed with weed.
Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, Washington State representing.
Dude, he gets so much weed up here for free when he comes up this way.
I'm sure. It's not as special as it could be.
Well, he kind of smelled like weed too when we were there.
Oh, did he?
Oh yeah.
I'm so oblivious to that now. I don't even notice anymore unless
it wasn't
it's like over the top.
Potent. Yeah, it wasn't over the top. It was subtle, but I was like, yep, you smell like weed. But I mean, whatever.
Nothing wrong with that, man.
Nothing wrong with that. I don't care.
And we met some cool people online. We talked the whole time. Never broke out the lapel mics for some reason. I think we were just too busy just bullshitting with everybody.
Yeah, we're just chatting, making friends, which was cool.
And what was the guy? He's part of a YouTube channel as well, right?
Yeah, he's part of the Watchtower Database on YouTube. And we sat there and talked to him, Matthew Washburn. We were just talking with him. We followed him on Twitter, and he liked our podcast. So if you're listening to this one, Matthew, hey, it was good talking with you. Yeah, he has a Watchtower Database YouTube channel where they are going through the DC animated universe of Batman TAS through Justice League Unlimited, kind of cataloging things and talking about all the intricacies and connections between how they connect. I think the one thing he was working on, they told me, was they're trying to connect Justice League Unlimited to Batman Beyond, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty amazing. The whole thing was a kind of a cool experience, man. Most of the time you sit in line. Like when I met Stan Lee, that was cool. But, it was literally like shaking the hand, blah, blah, blah. And it was cool because he kind of gave you that moment,
Yeah, but it was just a moment.
Right. This was
It's very impersonal.
Yeah, this was like full on personal and going through everything. It was really neat. And then generally seemed interested in what we were talking about with the podcast and what we've been doing. And, and it was cool to tell me that, yeah, we had Mike Grell on, we had, Ben Templesmith and Richard Kadri and Scott
busting our ass to do the best show we can.
Yeah, and we got JM DeMatteis coming on, and we're just he goes, did you ever think that you'd have these people on and be doing this? I'm like, not in a million fucking years, man. Not in a million years that I would think by this time we would have anybody on that would of note. You know? Yeah,
but here we
not
are.
That everybody that we've had on has always been amazing,
Yeah.
Kevin Joseph Hart, Stephen Franks,
Scott Godlewski,
Scott Godlewski, Ryan Cody, all these guys have been amazing.
Yeah.
And all done well in their own right within the industry, and it's just been it's been a blessing in a lot of ways.
Yeah, the podcast has been amazing. It's great, and just to get the fact that we made that silly goal about getting Kevin Smith on, we set a goal that we think is pretty much unobtainable,
right?
And he's like, "Yeah, sure, that's cool, man. We'll do it."
Right. Well, I've tweeted him before to come on and nothing, which I'm sure he gets like a billion tweets a day. So
yeah, but I think being in person and talking in person is a huge difference.
Right. And it was just cool, man. I'll be on your 100th episode. Sweet. I'm like totally giddy about it.
Right. So what's your favorite Kevin Smith movie?
My favorite Kevin Smith, it's probably Clerks, the first one.
Still?
Yeah, because it was just, I watched that, dude. I was, that came out in 93, 92?
Yeah,
92,
like
93,
that.
somewhere in there. I started working at a video store in 95. It was one of the first ones that I watched, like, more than a dozen times on video.
Right.
Because it just made me laugh. It's my age group. You know what I mean? Everything they were talking about, everything they were experiencing, the way they were. I mean, the whole thing was it was targeted towards my age group, right?
Right.
Because he's just a couple years older than me. He's not that much older than me.
No, he's not.
And so it was, so that's probably still my favorite. I really like Dogma. Dogma made me laugh, and it was just, and I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that I was raised Catholic. And so a lot of stuff that he talks about in that really hits. I thought Chasing Amy was unique. Yeah, but I love stupid humor, so I really loved Mallrats.
Yeah, Mallrats is one of my favorites.
I quoted Walmart. I quoted Mallrats.
There you go.
Yeah, for quite a long time. I mean, Jason Lee in that movie, I think I cried at some of the stuff that he was doing.
He's great in that movie. Him as Brody.
Yeah, I didn't even know that he was like a skateboard guy.
Neither did I. But of course, I also watched that movie when I was 14, and when I first watched Mallrats.
Yeah.
I got a copy of the VHS tape from somewhere, and I watched it and loved it, and watched it over and over and over again. And then it was after Mallrats that I found Clerks, and then I was like, no, this Kevin Smith dude knows what he's doing. I like these dick and fart jokes.
Yeah, I remember when the rumor was that he had written a Superman movie.
Yeah,
and then
which he did, but they
I didn't know if it was true or not.
Yeah, back then.
Yeah, but I thought it was cool. I'm like, no way, you wrote a Superman movie? Is that coming out? When's it coming out? And then of course it never did. I think that was the one that was going to be Nicolas Cage, right?
Yeah, which was going to be terrible.
Maybe. Who knows?
Well, who knows, right? Who knows? It could have been wonderful with our plastic light-up suit and long-haired Superman Nick Cage. Could have been great.
You never know, man. Well, there's a reason it didn't happen, so.
Yeah. I'm okay with not knowing if that was good or bad.
I even like Cop Out. I thought that was funny.
I have Cop Out, but I haven't watched Cop Out.
That's what you're saying. You said it's still in cellophane and everything.
Well, I bought it on like a $5 Walmart sale, and then I was like, oh, I'll watch this Kevin Smith, and then I just didn't. And it's like, it's Kevin Smith, and it's looks it should be funny. I don't know, but I just never watched it.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was funny. I don't know. I like Tracy Morgan, you know.
Yeah, he's funny.
And then I think that movie is funnier now to me because of the stories about Bruce Willis on that on that movie, and the way Kevin Smith dealt with it and the way he's dealt with it since then cracked me up. You know, maybe it's just his storytelling, the style that he does it in, but it's still funny.
Man, the way that man tells stories is great.
Yeah.
You know, now my favorite thing I think is always going to be Mallrats, because that's the one that introduced me to the View Askew universe and Kevin Smith, and got me hooked, and I watched it so many times. But I also, I really love Dogma too. I think Dogma is such a fantastic film. And
yeah, see, my first one was Clerks.
Yeah, so I saw Clerks later. I like Clerks, but I don't think Clerks is as good as...
I even like Clerks 2.
Yeah, I think Clerks 2 is hilarious.
Yeah, I know a lot of people are like, I think it's hilarious.
Dude, I even like Jersey Girl, okay?
You know what? I have never actually sat and watched Jersey Girl all the way through.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know what it was. I think it was just my age, and I was out doing stuff when it came out. It wasn't like I wasn't sitting at home watching movies then. You know what I mean? And now with so many movies coming out and all the superhero movies and everything else that come out, you don't really. Yeah, I don't know. I don't go back.
You should watch it.
I should go watch Jersey Girl.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
It's a romantic comedy, right, with Ben Affleck.
Yeah, it's a romantic comedy with Ben Affleck and George Carlin and
Jennifer Garner.
No, it's got
Steven Tyler's daughter.
Yeah, Liz Tyler. Yeah.
Liv.
And yeah, Liv Tyler is in it. And Will Smith is in it too.
Oh, is he?
Well, he plays himself.
Oh, that's funny.
It's pretty funny. I don't know. I enjoyed that. I thought it was funny. I thought George Carlin was funny in it. I thought Ben Affleck
I forgot
was good.
that Kevin Smith was in Die Hard.
Oh, yeah.
Die Hard, was it Die Hard 3?
No, Die Hard 4.
No, are you sure? No, I think it's Die Hard 3, dude. With
Die Hard
Samuel
3
L. Jackson?
Oh, was he in that one?
Oh, no, you're right. I'm thinking of the other one. Yeah, the fourth one. With, what's his name? Who was the bad guy in that?
I've only watched the first 3 Die Hards. I didn't watch anything after that one.
You only watched the first 3?
Yeah, I've only watched up to With a Vengeance. I haven't watched any ones after that.
You didn't watch the one with Kevin Smith as the guy in the chair?
No, I didn't watch that one.
That's pretty good. And with Justin Long?
No, I haven't seen it.
Oh, you should check it out. It's pretty good. It's
not because I don't want to see it. It just came out at a time when I wasn't watching a lot of movies. I just haven't gone back to watch it.
Same thing with me with Jersey Girl.
Yeah. There's movies that I definitely should have seen that I haven't seen that I'm like I probably would love them. I just haven't seen them. Like
Die Hard is like my favorite Christmas movie. The first one.
Oh yeah. There's a huge debate every year if is Die Hard a Christmas film or not a Christmas film, and it's like, well, I mean, it's a film that takes place at Christmas.
It's the settings, it's the surroundings, so you might as well enjoy it.
Yeah,
I don't think there's no debate about it.
No, there is. Every year on the internet, there's a huge debate.
I know there is. I'm saying that there shouldn't be a debate because it takes place during Christmas. It's a Christmas story. I watch it every Christmas. Not on Christmas Day, but at Christmas, the holidays.
If it's a story that takes place during Christmas, does that make it a Christmas story? Because the story has nothing to do with Christmas.
I think the fact that millions of people now have made it a ritual to watch during the holidays makes it a Christmas movie.
Well, we watch horror films during Christmas time at my house.
Oh, that's
because
a lot of horror movies come out.
That's always
around that time.
The horror holidays. Yeah, you watch a lot of, like, one year we watched just back to back cheesy horror films, and then I think last year we watched all 4 Jaws movies.
That's hilarious. So,
yeah,
did you think of something for me to watch or read that you want me to try to convince me into liking something?
Yeah, I still want you to read All Star Superman.
Okay, is it a trade paperback?
It is now, yeah.
Okay.
There's a trade that collects all the issues.
All right, cool. Then I will check that out.
That's the one. I still think that's the one for Superman for you.
That's the one.
I think that's the one, yeah.
Okay. And then
it's such a great story.
Let me get you the one I want you to watch.
What's that? Oh, the Doctor Who episode.
Hold on. Let me find it.
You're not even prepared, man. Sheesh.
Well, I'm on Amazon Prime. Where's it at?
We need a theme song for this section of the show, too.
Think of something for me to watch or read that you want me to try to convince me into liking something. Maybe it's either season 9 or it's season 7. I think it's season 7. Oh, come on. Sorry. I had it written down and then I left it at home.
That's fine.
Maybe it's season 9 and I totally just went to 7 and 8. Shit. I'm going to Google search for it because I know the characters. It is Doctor Who, The Return of Dr. Mysterio.
The Return of Dr. Mysterio.
And it's on Amazon Prime.
All right. I have that pulled up.
Yeah,
I will watch
on
that
Amazon
one.
Prime?
Oh, you know what?
Yeah. Don't tell me you've already seen it.
I have actually seen that episode.
What?
Or at least I've seen something with it because I recognize the character.
Oh, yeah, you probably do recognize the actor that plays in it because he's actually a pretty well-known actor. But do not read the synopsis. Just hit play and start watching. If you read the synopsis, you'll ruin it.
All right.
Okay, you got to promise me that you're not going to do that and do all those weird. Okay, yeah. So check it out. Tell me what you think.
It up and I'll watch it tomorrow.
All right, and I will download. Well, is it on Comixology?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay,
should be.
Then I will.
They have most.
Put that on my tablet tonight, and I will begin to watch it, and then we'll do a whole episode. We'll split it in half.
There you go. Half Doctor Who, half Superman to see if it worked.
Yeah. Well, I don't know that you'll be converted as a Doctor Who fan, but I know you'll like that episode, and from that, you'll probably give more a chance.
All right, that sounds good.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll watch it tomorrow, and then we'll come back on it next time.
Yeah. I mean, this will be pretty easy for me because I'm pretty much in the bag when it comes to comic books.
Right.
Yeah, I'll check that out. Why not?
Sure, I'll read that book. No problem.
I mean, I read all the Godlewski Supermans, and
yeah,
and they were great. I mean, we talked about them, and I just didn't like the first one he did, and I think after talking to him, he felt kind of the same way.
Yeah, I think so too.
That he was like, yeah, it's kind of a throwaway issue, and it was it was just weird, right? They wrecked the city and they just let him go.
That was weird. That seemed very on Superman-like to me. Like,
right.
No, they're fine.
Yeah, whatever. I'll get them later.
Meh.
One eternity later.
All right, so we did half the recording a couple days ago. We got to meet Kevin Smith. We were very lucky. He's going to come on the show here in the future when we get to level. We've been talking levels.
When we get to level
lately.
100.
When we get to level 100,
we got to level up.
Needs food badly.
Dude, we should stop calling them episodes and call them levels. Like we're on level. This is level 56.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. We're on level 56. Yeah,
I like it. We're leveling up.
So a couple days ago, we got to meet Kevin Smith, which was amazing for us. We're total geeks for him.
Well, we just told him that 5 minutes ago.
Oh, that's true. But
yeah,
just so you get a context, half of the show was recorded a couple days ago, and at the end of that episode, at the end of that recording, we challenged each other to read something that we're not read or watch something that we're huge fans of, and see what we thought, because these are stories that we thought that the other person would actually enjoy and maybe even open the door for more of the same thing. Mine was Doctor Who for Johnny, a specific episode that was a self-contained storyline that was fine. It had some things that talked about other episodes, but it actually not knowing kind of made the story a little bit more richer, I think. And then you challenged me to read All-Star Superman, which I got to say right off the bat, next time they have to be of similar, maybe we should do the same genre or not the same medium, I mean.
Right.
Because,
an episode and a
12
series.
books compared to one 50-minute episode is like, a little, but I got it through. I did it. I finished.
You did it.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah. And I did it all within a day and a half.
Yeah. That's impressive.
Yeah. Well, especially with my work schedule. So it was crazy.
Right. Well, you're dedicated to the podcast, man. It's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So mine was.
Let's talk Doctor Who first.
Okay.
If that's okay.
Yeah. No, that's fine. That's fine. I was just trying to think of. Yeah. Let's just talk Doctor Who first. That's fine.
Okay, so before this episode, I've actually watched some Doctor Who before. I've watched probably
as I've read some Superman before.
Right. So I had watched an episode or two of the first season that it came back with the guy who was on it for one season. I didn't care for it. I couldn't stand it. I mean, I couldn't stand it. It was just boring to me. And then I started watching the David Tennant series, and I watched about the first 8 episodes, and it was good. I enjoyed it. But it didn't captivate me at all.
Right.
So I've been familiar with Doctor Who for years. Just not something that I've jumped into.
Everybody knows who Doctor Who is.
Right.
You know? I mean, it's been on. It took a hiatus for like 10 years or whatever, but it's basically been on TV since like 1961 or something like that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. Okay, so what episode was it? Which one did I make you watch? Do you have it there in front of you?
Dr. Mysterio. The Return of Dr. Mysterio.
Yeah, the Return of Dr. Mysterio.
Yeah.
And what was it about?
So, I know why you wanted me to watch this one, because it starts off, it's heavy comic lore, or heavy comic based.
Yeah.
I mean, even the people in the company are called Siegel and Schuster, so.
You noticed that? I laughed so hard when they said that. I was like, what? That's hilarious. I don't think I would have caught that before we started this podcast, though.
Yeah. So the whole thing is about the Doctor goes to it's a Christmas special, I think it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
One of them. But the Doctor goes to New York to this kid. He has this gemstone. He builds this tree, quote unquote tree, on top of the building, and through happenstance of what he says, and the kid asks questions, the kid eats the gemstone, thinking that he's a doctor.
He said, "Hold this, I'm a doctor," and the kid, he has like asthma, so he thought he was giving him a pill.
Right. So he's like, "Wait, you ate the gemstone? Am I gonna die?" So it goes off. The gemstone bonds with his body and basically makes him a superhero. So the whole episode is about this kid who becomes a superhero, and he takes on the attributes of
called
this
the
superhero.
Ghost.
Yeah, and he's taking the attributes of the characters that he was reading, or that he desires.
Right.
And in the before this happens, they're talking about Superman and talking about Spider-Man a little bit, but he's talking about what I thought was funny with Doctor Who was like the Doctor was like, Superman, Clark Kent, they're the same person. The kid's like, yeah, everybody knows that.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool little comedic scenes during that episode that kind of makes you laugh.
Yeah, and it was good. I didn't really need, obviously, I mean, like you said, I didn't need any prior knowledge to watch the episode. It was very standalone, very much. I could just enjoy it for what it was.
Yep.
I mean, I didn't even have to know who the doctor was to enjoy it. It's because he kind of just took care of himself.
You know what I thought when I watched that episode is you're very much the good triumphs over evil every time, and the hope, like in Superman, how everything is of believe, having hope that all this stuff is going to work out and everything's going to be the way it's supposed to be. And when you watch that episode, they kind of reverberate that throughout the whole thing, and you have this very simple guy that is doing way more than he should. He's taking care of, he's nannying the girl that he loves, his kid, that was actually his best friend's girlfriend, that when she found out she was pregnant, he took off, but he's had a crush on this girl since school.
Right. I did find it interesting, or I liked the part when the doctor was seeing him in grade school, and he wouldn't look at anybody because he was in puberty, and he had X-ray vision he couldn't turn off.
Right, he was seeing everybody naked, and then here comes the girl that he loves walking down the hallway, and he's just like, "Oh my god!" And then he starts floating because he's on cloud 9.
Right,
and the doctor's great. All pulling him down.
Stop! No, it was a good episode. It was very fun. Very. Peter Capaldi did it. That was the first time watching Peter Capaldi as Who.
Yeah, I like him as the Doctor. There's a lot of people that didn't. A lot of people didn't like him, and they didn't like the way he was portraying the Doctor. And I thought he did great.
The episode was great. I mean, he did a good job, I thought. But I think people don't like him is because the two doctors before him were Matt Smith and David Tennant. Two charismatic pretty boys. And
they were both really, really, really loved. Yeah, but, what'd you think of the brains?
The brains, that was interesting. Honestly, I felt that the bad guys, the plot as far as what they're trying to defeat was really kind of secondary to the plot of Grant and the Doctor and his girlfriend and the baby. It really the brain portion, all that really didn't matter.
Right.
Ultimately, it was a story of this kid getting superpowers, falling in love, and the Doctor kind of being there to, quote unquote, mentor him to where he needs to be.
It was a definite
that was the real story
to Superman.
100%. It was all Superman.
Yeah. It was really cool, and that's why I thought you would really like that one, because it was, when you watch it, you're just like, "Aw."
Yeah, it definitely makes you want to watch some more Doctor Who from Capaldi's series.
Yeah, I think there's more. There's a lot of them that are not in that vein. Not where it's like the Doctor is very much a secondary character, and the whole alien invasion is actually a secondary character or a tertiary storyline.
It's extra plot that's there. Yeah. It's just there for a conflict. I mean, they're creepy. That doesn't really matter
when they open up their eyes in the jar.
Right,
it's pretty creepy. I was like, oh.
Or when the aliens like rip their head open, the guy pulled the gun out of his head.
Yeah, they unzip their head.
Yeah, that's a weird place to hold your gun.
Yeah. It was pretty weird. You know, it's really about that whole scene of, and I really you could tell that whoever wrote it. I don't remember who wrote it. You know, because I should have paid attention, but I didn't. I don't know who wrote it. You could tell that they have a huge love for Superman. I mean, because at the beginning of the episode, they're doing an interview, not an interview, but what do you call it? What do you call it, Johnny? When somebody stands in front of a bunch of reporters,
a press conference.
Yeah, God, man. When they're doing the press conference, and the guy calls his assistants Schuster and Siegel, and you're just like,
yeah.
Oh my God, are you kidding?
It was written by Stephen Moffat.
Oh, yeah, he was the showrunner for a long time, so he must be a huge Superman fan because it really was just...
Clearly. I mean, there was lots of Easter eggs in there for various superheroes, but mostly Superman, and I liked it. I enjoyed it. It was fun.
Grant's character is a bumbling fool when he's not Ghost, and I mean that in a loving, in a loving way, just in
a loving way.
Yeah, I mean, because he's like he bumbles through. He does it on purpose so people don't know that.
Like Clark Kent did.
Yeah, and he does the glasses, the whole 9 yards. If he was a reporter, but the funny thing, and she's the girl that he really really likes, and he lives with the nannies. Yeah. She's a reporter, and if he was a reporter, it would have been like, oh my God, this is hilarious.
I did like how at the end when he's holding up the ship with his arm and. Yeah. She's in front of him, and she's like, "I'd like you in your costume." He's like, "Well, it's gonna be kind of hard to put my costume on right now." And she goes, "I'll do it for you." And she puts his glasses on, not his costume.
Yeah.
I thought that was a really nice touch.
Yeah, and that's a nod to Superman too, because Superman is dressed as Clark is his costume.
Yep, it was a huge nod. That's why I liked it a lot. I was like, "That's really cool." And I started watching it, and I'm up here sitting here at my desk and. You told me not to multitask, but I was watching it, and I was getting my computer that suffered the coffee incidents is now back and running. I'm actually on it right now. It's running again, but I reinstalled Windows on it, and I was in the middle of making sure I had everything installed so I can do this podcast. And I know it.
Yeah.
So I wasn't doing too much. I was just hitting download, install.
Yeah, that's not a big deal.
But as I'm doing that, all of my kids come in, sit down on the couch, and just sit and watch it entranced the entire episode.
Oh, that's cool. So they all enjoyed it too.
Yeah, and they're all like, "Can we watch more?" So I made my kids want to watch more Doctor Who. Of course, the kids were watching the David Tennant ones with me downstairs, and Sadie and Jacob both love it.
Yeah,
they'll watch it without me too.
One of my favorite ones with David Tennant is they're on the edge of a black hole, and there's a rock floating on the edge of the black hole, and there's people drilling, right?
Yeah.
And they get there and they're finding they're having all this weird stuff happen, and it's this, somebody gets possessed, right? And and kills somebody, and David Tennant, the Doctor, goes down into this pit that they find, and it ends up being Satan chained up. It's a prison for Satan.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. And he's in a constant flux on this black hole, but it's slowly getting sucked in. And he's possessed these people. Yeah, he's possessed these people, and they're rocketing off, and his whole goal is possess somebody as they rocket off the rock so he can get away from his prison. And yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's that's the one thing I like about the Doctor Who series is that, everything is completely outlandish, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's just fun, and it's but they do a lot of social commentary and use a lot of things as an allegory to what's happening today. And it's interesting, and it's a different viewpoint than what Americans have, because it's a very British viewpoint, which I think is important to try to find those different views out there. And that's one of the shows that kind of is in line with how I think about a lot of things.
Yeah.
Not everything. Obviously, you can't be 100% on board with everything everybody's doing, but with a lot of the stuff that I have, and a lot of the ways that I think about, everything, it's just social commentaries. I mean, we don't need to get into we don't need to get granular, just social commentaries as a whole.
Well, one of the things I've always liked about Doctor Who, and even though I haven't watched very much, one of the things I've always respected about Doctor Who as a medium and as a format of telling stories is that they're not afraid to go crazy. They're not afraid to go with a lady who's a stretched out chunk of skin with a face on it, and that'd be a serious character. And I've always respected the fact that they're willing to take these incredibly insane risks to tell a story, and it pays off for them. And even though I've never been a huge fan, I did enjoy what I've watched. I'll watch more.
Yeah,
it's just from a creative standpoint, it's like it's amazing that they take these risks to just tell these stories that they don't really hold back. They go for the crazy, and they just go for it and tell a story.
Well, the premise allows them to go anywhere.
Yeah,
in
it's
time
awesome.
and space and dimension and forwards and backwards through history, doesn't matter, anywhere in the universe. So it's just so open. It's like Star Trek on steroids with Spock and James Kirk combined into one character.
Right. It's cool. It's cool, and the fact they regenerate the Doctor and the Doctor can change.
I love that aspect, and that just allows them to keep that storyline going, and they don't have to worry about losing
Well,
an actor or whatever.
It allows your main actor to stay on for a couple of years and not get pigeonholed into playing a character for 15 years. You know?
Yeah. Well, it refreshes it. It keeps it fresh.
Yeah. It's a huge gimmick for the show, but it works really well.
Yeah. And now they have their first female Doctor, and I'm excited because it's going to be an interesting.
I actually
want
to watch. I actually want to watch that one because I just want to see. I heard the changeover episode was really good, so I want to watch that one.
Yeah, it was pretty good. That was pretty good. But the Peter Capaldi ones, I think. I mean, I know if you go online, you can read a lot of people not really weren't too keen on him at the beginning. I'm not too sure with the last couple of seasons, but he had Jenny Coleman, I think her name was, as his sidekick for the first year, and
his companion,
and she was his companion, and she was great. And she was with Matt Smith for 2 years.
Yeah.
And she was the impossible girl because she keeps dying, but she keeps coming back.
Right.
And so
I heard about that.
Yeah, it was a really cool storyline. And then the whole thing with the girl that's in Guardians of the Galaxy, Amy Pond.
Mm-hmm.
That's her name. And is that her name in Doctor Who? Or is that her real name?
I don't know.
Who's the girl? She plays the bald girl in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Nebula?
Yeah, Nebula.
That's not her real name. That'd be her name in the
Karen
show.
Gillian.
Her name's Karen Gillian.
Yeah, she's great, and she was great in Doctor Who. That's how she got her start, and she's in there for a long time. And her storyline is with Matt Smith, and it's really, really interesting. You should check that one out. I bet you will like it.
I'm sure.
He sees her when she's a little girl.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and there's a crack in her wall. And he's looking at the crack, and he knows there's something wrong with this crack in the wall. It's not of our reality. It's a crack in reality.
Right.
And he goes, I'll be right back. And he leaves, and he doesn't come back for 20 years because he's the Doctor, and he travels through space and time,
Right.
And so for him, he was gone for 5 minutes. For her, he was gone for 20 years old, and she was 6, 7 years old, and he comes back, and she's in her 20s. And she's been waiting because everybody thought she was nuts.
Right. I'm not crazy. You're here.
Yeah. And she becomes his companion, and it's really good. And then she has a boyfriend named Rory, and there's a scene where Rory basically becomes plastic, and she gets locked in a box at 3000 BCE, and he stays with her guarding the box all the way up to modern times.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah, dude, it's really cool, man. When you start getting into the lore and the storylines of what of Doctor Who, you'll start going, "Oh, wow, this is more than just a little a weirdness in one show." There's things that happen on a show 1 year that doesn't come back around for 2 years.
Plot points?
Yeah, a plot point. And then all of a sudden, when they bring it back, you're like, holy shit, that ties everything together. And it's really cool. They do a really good job on that show. And I'm excited because they have a new showrunner, because Moffat was the showrunner for a long time. And so it's going to be a very interesting new season when it finally comes out. I think it's like September or something like that.
Nice. Yeah, I'll watch more. Ultimately, I liked it. I'm going to watch more.
Yeah, you should watch the Matt Smith stuff. I love the David Tennant stuff. You should definitely watch the Matt Smith. His is really good. And I don't know. I love Peter Capaldi. I thought he did a great job. I think he was an underrated doctor, and I think it's going to go down that way. Like through the annals of the Doctor Who history, they're going to be like, oh, he was way underrated. People didn't appreciate what they had.
Right.
But the thing is, if you go back, they're all white men. So it's kind of cool that they finally changed it up.
To a white girl.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a start, And I don't know if they're trying to just appease people or if they're worried. I don't know that they didn't do like a black guy or an Asian guy just because.
They've talked about doing a female doctor for years.
Or an
I know
Indian
that.
guy or whatever. I mean, they could do that with no. I don't think anybody would. I mean, I'm sure there'd be some
There would be, but who cares?
Detractors. Yeah, exactly. If they're there, you don't want them as fans anyways, because that's not
right.
Because the Doctor regenerates.
Yeah.
Just
whatever makes sense. And
yeah.
Who cares?
Exactly.
Have fun with it.
Yeah, have fun with it. So cool. Oh, I'm glad that. So maybe I didn't convert you into a big Doctor Who fan, but I made you much more open to it.
Right, exactly. And I'm going to watch more. So that leads to this. What'd you think of All-Star Superman?
I thoroughly enjoyed All-Star Superman. Put it this way. I started reading it last night, and then I stayed up until 2:30.
Oh, Jesus.
And I didn't realize it. I started reading, issue 1, and then all of a sudden I'm on issue 9, and didn't realize it.
It's one of those ones that it's hard to put down because it keeps you.
Yeah,
Grant Morrison does a great job of keeping you on.
Yeah, they do it. Well, Grant Morrison's one of the best comic book writers in a long time. I mean,
he's amazing.
He's just an amazing writer.
The art drawn by Frank Quitely, right?
Yeah,
it's Frank Quitely, right? Yeah.
The art is fantastic.
Yeah, it is.
It kind of reminds me of. It actually kind of reminds me of Bernie Wrightson's Captain Stern.
Yeah, absolutely. Clean and beautiful.
Yeah. It's really, really good. I don't know, man. It was so. There was some parts that I didn't like that it kind of jumps around a little bit where you're like, well, maybe it's just because they just want you to think about it for yourself and they don't explain certain things.
Yeah.
I didn't like the surprise of Solar.
Oh, you didn't like that?
Well, I liked Solar I liked him as somebody, but you didn't know anything about it until he shows up. It's just like, oh, he's Lex's, partner or secret partner or whatever, and you didn't even know. It was like I didn't even know Lex had a secret partner because you're reading it through. You see Lex.
It was a secret. A secret.
You see Lex controlling through virtual that sun or that monster guy thing inside the capsule. And Superman gets him out and throws him out in space basically, and he is coming through the sun, and his molecules are overcharged, and his cells are starting to die because they can't process the amount of yellow light he took in.
Right.
And then you have this whole space station project, and project is an acronym, but they never tell you what project actually means, which kind of bugged the fuck out of me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because
you want to know.
Jimmy Olsen literally says, oh, project's obviously an acronym. I want to know what it is. And then they never say it. And then you keep seeing it. P, period, R, period, O, period, J, period, E, period, C, period, T. And you're just like, well, what the fuck does that mean? And the guy's trying to replicate Superman or come up with a way to save Superman because he feels responsible because he's the reason that Superman went to the sun to capture fire from the sun, which to me it's like, wasn't by the time you brought it back somewhere, wouldn't it just be fire no matter what?
Right. Well, Superman's really fast, all right?
And, but every time this guy spoke, I felt like he was a villain that was in disguise.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's the feeling I got when I was reading it, but he never does. He never, he's apparently on the up and up.
Apparently.
Yeah, because the whole time I'm waiting for the shoe to drop that I thought he was going to be the person that was helping Lex.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
If anybody was going to be the secret guy to be helping Lex, I thought it was going to be him. But maybe they did that on purpose.
That would have made sense. Yeah, that would have made sense.
And maybe that's why they did that. You know,
Yeah.
no, this guy really, because sometimes people are just, you know, kind of give you a weird vibe, but at the end of the day, they really are at face value who and what they're saying they are.
Yeah, I think he was a fake out character just to make you think that, and it was played really well to do that, do that job.
Yeah, yeah, and it was a weird thing, and but he did a good job. So then, you know, I thought it was funny that he tells Lois, "I'm Superman," and she doesn't believe him.
Yeah,
She thinks that no. You're playing tricks on me, and I'm waiting for the shoe to drop, and everybody's gonna. As he's flying her in her car, and he's telling her, which always makes me laugh when they have like Superman flying, and he's underneath the car, and she's in the car, but they're talking to each other like they can hear each other in a normal conversation.
They couldn't hear each other.
No, I mean, at least have her like have the window down and be yelling. You know what I mean? Because even if he can, he can hear
her fine.
Yeah, but you know how humans are, dude.
Right.
You got your headphones on, it's on loud, you yell because you think that, you know, because you can't hear your own voice. It's your inner monologue that you can't hear, and that's why. So, but, you know, or at least have him yelling so that she can hear, you know. So it was just kind of funny. I mean, that cracked me up. And then she goes through, and then I liked it that she freaks out and thinking that he's like going to do some experiment on her. And she's like, what the fuck? And she's grabbing that gun, and you know, he's like, oh, I'm not. He's gaining powers as the series goes on because of how much
all the rays.
Yeah, all the rays, which I thought was a cool concept.
Yeah, I thought it was a great. It's a great 12-part story that's contained in that 12 issues, and you know, I've always thought that was a beautiful story, and while I like the movie, they made the cartoon movie. I like the movie. The book is so different.
It would have been better as a miniseries.
Yeah, they left out so much in the movie that made the book what it was. But still, I mean, the movie was great in its own right, but the book is just so much better.
Yeah, and I liked how he goes as Clark to the prison to give an interview to Lex Luthor, who's now in prison because, you know, he's Lex Luthor.
Right,
and they have the whole they have the whole prison riot, and they have the Parasite character, you know, being next to Superman, not realizing next to Superman, he just starts feeding on this energy, and he wants to kill Lex, and they're going through, and Superman is slowly, like, not slowly, he is bumbling, saving everybody, and as Clark bumbles through everything, which was done really well. It was pretty funny. Yeah. I thought it was cool. I was like, that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
I mean, that's definitely, so compared to Kingdom Come, I like this a lot better. I felt like this was a Superman that I could like and get behind. Because Kingdom Come, dude, I didn't like the way they portrayed Superman in that. Because to me, it felt,
he was meant to be portrayed older and a little bit harsher in that series.
Yeah, well, it just felt, I didn't like the way everybody was worried about his reaction to everything they said. That's why where the bully whole thing came from. Because reading that storyline, it's like, what the fuck, man? You're not you're not king, and that's the way everybody treated it. Like he was the king, and I didn't like it. I don't think. And reading this storyline, this is the Superman. Because when I read this storyline, dude, every time Superman spoke, Christopher Reeve was in my head.
Yep.
Every time.
Exactly. Yeah, I know.
And when I read Kingdom Come, I didn't have a voice in my head. I had my own internal voice in my head with Superman. And it didn't
it sounded like this. Hi, I'm Superman.
Yeah, because I have a very high voice.
You just gave Superman that voice in your head. That's all.
Right. You sound like Mickey Mouse. Come on, boy. Oh boy. Let's go kick some ass. But
right.
You know, I mean, and that's where that came from, dude. Because even though Kingdom Come was a cool storyline, you know, it was a cool story.
Yeah,
it wasn't. I don't know. It was just weird. There was some things that just didn't come across like Superman to me, you know. And this one was totally different. I mean, he's dying and he knows it, and he's still doing everything he needs to do to save humanity.
Yeah,
and in Kingdom Come,
Superman.
He gave up.
Yeah,
he gave up for like 20 years or something like that.
Kingdom Come's an Elseworld story, so you know. But I mean, it's a contained story in itself.
This is out of timeline.
Right, it's out of continuity. I mean, but still, this one's more Superman to me than Kingdom Come Superman is.
Yeah, it's a definite thing. I love the fact that I mean, there's a couple plot points that I wish they would explain. Like, how did you know that Robot 7 got hacked by Lex Luthor to get that serum? You never knew that. You just all of a sudden had it, and that kind of it almost felt like an afterthought. Like, oh, we got to give Lex some kind of power, so we'll just say this happened.
Right.
You know what I mean? And they could have done some things. I don't know. I mean,
because comics, right?
Yeah, because comics. Yeah, exactly. I don't know. And then of course, like I said at the beginning of my rant here, the induction of Solar coming in. See how I said that? Induction. Solar induction.
Nice.
But
Beautiful,
anyways, him coming in, all of a sudden he's, oh, da-da-da-da-da, and then like he poisoned the sun. When? When did he poison the sun?
Right.
They didn't show it. You just said that he poisoned the sun. At least it's a 12-part miniseries, man. You could have shown Solar being a part of it, or at least a silhouette or something.
Tell.
Yeah, some kind of tell that made you think, oh, who is helping Lex? And then have him, and you could have Quinlan, or is it Quinlan? Was that the name of the scientist that was on the asteroid?
I think so.
Or the moon? I don't know. I don't know where they're at, actually. I have no idea where he's at.
They're on some base place.
They're on some base in space. They're on base. Space. Yeah. So, but they could have had him like discover, oh my God, the sun got poisoned because of the, that's right. But other than that, I mean, if that's my only complaints, come on.
Right.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, right. Good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I don't know.
Were you nervous?
The whole time I'm like, I was nervous, but I really think he's gonna enjoy this because it is a really good story, and I think this is a Superman I'm more talking about when I'm trying to defend
tear
Superman.
it apart just to be a dick.
Exactly. But he can be a dick sometimes, so maybe he's gonna come back and be like, "Fuck this guy."
No. I liked it. I mean, I don't know, man. It was fun. They even mentioned Batman in it, which is kind of funny.
Yeah,
but they don't show Batman.
So this story came out at the same time All-Star Batman and Robin came out.
Yeah.
And All-Star Batman and Robin is wildly different and wildly horrible. If you've read
it. I haven't read it. Is it bad? I mean, I've read the new All-Star Batman, which was actually pretty good.
The All-Star Batman and Robin is written by Frank Miller and drawn by Jim Lee.
Oh, you'd think it'd be amazing.
Well, it's pretty much Frank Miller doing whatever he can do to be very super edgy with Batman. And let's just say they didn't finish the series. It went for like 5 or 6 issues, and when they stopped making them,
people just said no.
It's terrible. It's bad writing. It's probably the worst thing Miller's ever written.
Wow.
I mean, it looks pretty because it's drawn by Jim Lee,
right?
But it's just bad.
Wow.
It's very not Batman,
Yeah. It doesn't make any sense, or is it just like the
just
actions
doesn't make
of
sense.
Batman doesn't make sense, that kind of stuff?
His actions and the story itself just don't make sense.
Wow. I wonder why.
There's some lines that for some reason I just can't think of them right now that are just like, you read them and you're like, why would you put that in a Batman comic,
Yeah, what are you thinking?
Exactly, yeah. My dad had bought it when it first came out because it's like, oh, Frank Miller's doing Batman again. I was like, cool, I'll buy that. He bought like the first like 3 issues, and after the issue he was like, yeah, no.
Well, everybody has their downtime. Everybody has stories that don't.
You're allowed to tell a bad story now and then. It's fine.
Yeah, and he might have forced himself to do that because he got, and it just didn't work.
Right.
Yeah, I think for me, like, I love The Dark Knight. That's probably my favorite. The Dark Knight Returns. That's probably my favorite Batman storyline because I've read that book, the trade paperback. I don't know. I've a billion times. You know what I mean? I've read it a lot. It's just a fun book. I mean, it really is. The whole thing with the mutants. The mutant gang, and he does his own lingo, and then just Batman being old, but just that's where the first time you see him like bust through the wall and grab somebody, and now you've seen that done in multiple Batman comic books and Batman movies, and it all comes from that Frank Miller. That came from that Frank Miller book.
Yeah,
and it's just really cool, and and I know you don't like the whole Superman scene, but it's still a cool scene, man, and it visually looks stunning. The fact when Superman gets bombed by the nuclear missile, and he just becomes skin and bones, and he gets up to the sun, and he just starts to fill back out, and it's really cool looking. And
a scene that should have been much better in BVS.
That's a scene that would have been amazing in BVS, and they just kind of
it's in BVS, and it looked weird.
Is that scene in BVS?
Yeah, I mean it's not. Yeah, I don't think it's a nuclear bomb that hits him, but he's all dying and decaying.
I remember.
And he flies into outer space, and then he looks super CGI, and then he regenerates with the sun,
Yeah.
I don't know if he's. I think.
I think I do remember that. Yeah,
what happened. So
yeah,
it's
not the
MBVS.
same. But visually in the comic book, it's stunning. It really is. And
right.
Klaus Janson is amazing.
I need to reread that. I need to reread that book. I've read it for a long time.
It as a grain of salt, because I know you don't like the Superman scene, because you're like, because they make Superman kind of a patsy. He's like he's a freaking American douchebag, really, because he just does whatever the president tells him to do, and that's not what Superman's supposed to be like.
Which Superman wouldn't do that,
No, he wouldn't kill Batman because the president told him to.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and he wouldn't be a patsy for any government, because that's not his in his character wheelhouse of what he would do.
Right. And
but for the story, whatever.
Yeah,
it's for the single story.
Yeah, it's a single story. It is what it is.
It's just unfortunate that one story has influenced people's thoughts of both Batman and Superman for the last 30 years.
It's become so iconic.
Yeah, it's been that people look at that and they say that's how they see Batman, and that's how they see Superman, which is a big reason why I think a lot of people don't like Superman, because they see Superman as that douchebag from that book. Yeah,
it could be. I mean, it could be in some. I mean, maybe more of the older generation, because I don't know how popular that book. I mean, I know that book is popular because of what it is, but I don't know how many people have actually read it and gone back and read it. And
as far as I know, that book's never been out of print, so they keep printing new ones every year.
That's crazy.
So here's a sample of the dialogue from All Stars Batman Superman, or Batman and Robin. I mean,
yeah.
You've probably heard this before, but this is a line that Batman says to prepubescent Dick Grayson. "What are you, dense? Are you retarded or something? Who the hell do you think I am? I'm the goddamn Batman."
Oh, all right.
That's the dialogue. That's a sample of the dialogue from that book, and it was just bad.
That is weird.
Yeah, like why would Batman say that to an underage Dick Grayson?
How's the art?
The art's fine. The art's Jim Lee and Scott Williams. It's
how do you fuck that up?
Right? I mean, it's Jim Lee and Scott Williams doing Batman. I mean, it's
I don't know what Jim Lee was thinking
fantastic.
as he was reading the pages to draw.
He's like, well, fuck, whatever. They're paying me for this shit.
Well, because he did Hush, right?
Yeah, he did. Hush is good.
Did he write Hush?
No. Hush was written. Fuck, who wrote Hush? Was Brian Azario? Jeff Loeb wrote Hush.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Jeff Loeb's a good writer, though.
Yeah, he's a great writer.
Yeah.
He wrote Hush, and Hush is really good.
Yeah. Yeah, we should do a review of that one. We haven't done an actual comic book review in a while.
We kind of did it on this episode with All-Star Superman, but I
but that was a little different. That's a different premise. And I think this was fun. This opened up. We should do another one like this here soon, where we say, okay, this is something I like. I don't know if you'll enjoy this, but try this.
But something more equal for us to take, because mine was pretty easy to do and yours took a long time. So I feel bad about that.
I mean, it's all right. I mean, I just gave you shit because I could, because it was there. Right. And I'm like, fuck, man. I was like, well, I'll read the first arc. And you're like, it's not an arc. All 12 is the arc. And I'm like, oh, shit.
Right. Yeah, it's a 12-issue arc, man. It's a contained story.
I mean, I could have went and said, you need to watch season 5 of all of Doctor Who.
Fuck, that would take it so long.
I think they only do like 8 or 9 or 10. They don't do very much. Yeah, the British do a much more shortened season compared to
They don't do
Americans.
the 24 like they do here, which I think 24 is too much for a season, but it's a different story.
But see, but I'm a consumer and I like it because I don't want to sit there and have to like wait. I don't know.
I'd rather have a tight 13 episodes than a 24 long with half of them being crap.
Yeah, I guess it depends on how much I like the characters.
Yeah, I'd rather have a season that has,
because I can put up with some crap, dude. I can put up some crap. I can put up with it if I really, really like the characters and love the overall writing and it, because I could do some fluff, if it's, especially because I think what people mess up is they want these tight episodes that are all like action packed. You know what I mean? They got boom, boom, boom. But sometimes those fluff creates character development that you can't get any other way. And you might go, oh, this one's shitty. Yeah, but now you just saw a different side of a character. And now when they make decisions, you can actually see where they're coming from on certain things. And you don't get that unless you have that fluff.
I agree. My favorite episodes of Supernatural, because I love that show, are the ones in the middle of the season. The ones that they'll do episodes around episode like 12 through, say, 17 or 10 through 17 or whatever.
Yeah.
of episodes that are kind of tied to the overall series arc for that season, but they're not really. Like, they're self-contained episodes that are fun. Like, an episode where Sam and Dean get put into the real world, where they're on a set of the Supernatural show and they're actors, but they're not actors, but they're playing themselves. They're playing Jared Padalecki and Jensen Ackles. Just really fun.
Yeah, that's cool.
Those are my favorite ones. So anyways, we've rambled on a lot here about other stuff.
That's all right. That's all right. We went over Doctor Who. We went over Superman.
There we go.
So there you go. I think you're right. I think that's a
show, man.
That's a show
because we got 40 minutes here and half an hour there, so it's going to be over an hour. So
yeah, so something like that.
We just changed hosting providers.
We did. I'm excited. We have moved over to Libsyn. Now this will be the second episode that is
posted
to Libsyn, because we have another episode that's in the can that's coming out before that.
Now it's not going to change how you listen. I mean, whatever you listen to us on is going to stay the same. We
should stay the same.
Place. Yeah, we have a new place we upload to, which is exciting for us because it gives us more back end features and more flexibility for stuff.
That's right. So we're very excited for that.
So with that being said, you can listen to us on Libsyn or on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, everywhere else. Soon we'll be on iHeartRadio and Spotify. Hopefully, that's the plan. And obviously on our website still, spoilercountrypod.com. Where can they talk to us?
You can talk to us on Twitter, on Facebook, on Patreon. Visit our Patreon page. And when we pre-release episodes and you are a Patreon member, a patron of ours, you will be able to listen to that before everybody else.
Yep. So patreon.com/spoilercountry. Everything that we do, it's before the due date will be up there early. So even if it's a week early or whatever, you'll be able to hear it there way ahead of time.
That's right. All right, guys. Just remember to do one thing for me. Expand your mind and read more. We're out.
See ya.